Hello, good morning. Today we will discuss on new chapter. So we are starting new chapter today. Last time we completed all data types, and I hope you have completed homework as well. But I'm not getting any response from your side. Please send me homework whatever you are doing, so that I can understand whatever you are doing is correct or not. I will give feedbacks on that. And today's session is very important as for interview point of view, and this is at least two questions will definitely be there in interview question. One will be practical and one will be theoretical always there. So most of time your first round will be on theoretical points, and in second round most of time they ask you to write a code. So they will definitely ask you the concept of temporary table, what are the types of temporary table, and any example scenario they can give you. Okay. So we'll first start from definition and then we'll go ahead with the examples. Okay. So basically these temporary tables are very similar to exact permanent table. We know the syntax to how to create table name like this. Same way we can create a temporary table as well. So what is the basic difference here? Difference is initial character. First character of the table name will always be hash character. Okay, number sign or double hash character. So if it is single hash, then it is called as a local temporary table. If it is a double hash, then it's called as a global temporary table. The rest of the things are exactly same as a permanent table. Okay, syntax exactly same. And most important difference is when you create any temporary table, it never gets created in your current database. Still, you can see you could, decided to you connected to the current database here, batch August 2023, and when you create any table, the temporary table, it will get created inside a TMDB. And you know where it is, we can search the TMDB, we can expand the databases, then you can expand the system databases. Okay, we'll see. It's taking some time. Under system database, I will expand here. You will see the four system databases. First one is master, okay, then model DB, MSDB, and TemDB. Okay, I already explained you all of them in short, but this TemDB is useful for our today's session because whenever I create any temporary table, it gets created under the TemDB. You can see if I expand TemDB and if I expand the table, you will see nothing here because I have not created anything as of now. Okay, this is a kind of permanent table. I will delete this. It should not be there. Our concept of temporary table is that it is exactly same by syntax, okay, by look and feel, but main difference over here it's a volatile in nature. As name suggests itself, it's a temp table because it's a volatile. Whenever you disconnect from your server, the table will be automatically destroyed. So data will be automatically deleted. Table will vanished. Okay. So if you want to create some placeholder for your data for temporarily throughout your procedure, throughout execution of your any script, then you can do that, create your temp table. So you have different choices for that as well. Even you can create a variable of type table. You can create a temporary table. You can create a global temporary table as well. So these three choices we can have for the temporary placeholder of data. So mostly the business case or the real life scenario over here will be, suppose you are writing some script over there in which you are fetching data from employee table or any other table for temporary purpose and you are executing that data throughout your script. You are using that table again and again. So instead of fetching again going to that particular transaction table or employee table and fetch the data again and again, what you can do, you can initially fetch the data, whatever required data, maybe out of 1 million record, you are fetching only couple of 100 record or something, and you keep it in your temporary table, use it throughout your execution, and at the end, it will be automatically dropped. So you don't have to care about the dropping of table. Table will be automatically dropped after execution completion or your once you disconnect from your server. Okay, I'm not sure why it is taking so much time, but you will not wait for that. So what I will do first, I will show you example. So the definition are I think I hope you are clear with this, but I will just read it out one more time. A temporary table is a base table that is not stored in user database permanently. Okay, two things are important here in this sentence. One is not stored in user database. This is a one answer of one your interview point question, because it is whenever you're creating temporary table on any database, it will never get created in your user database, because this is something, it's your user database you created for your work, but it actually gets created in a TMDB. Then again, another word is permanently, means it will never be permanent in nature. It will always volatile. But instead, it exists only while database session is live. Okay, it was created is active. It gets created in TMDB system database. Any question on this definition? I hope you all are clear with this. That's why we call the table as a temporary table here. Otherwise, when you create permanent table, like when normal table we create, it gets created in your database and it will never get dropped until you deliberately drop it manually. Okay. जोपर्यंत तुम्ही स्वतः ड्रॉप करताय तोपर्यंत हे टेबल कधी ड्रॉप होत नाही. बघा आपण जर एक्सपांड करून पाहिलं तर आपण कधी फर्स्ट डे पासून जे काही टेबल बनवले होते ते सगळे टेबल डेटाबेस मध्ये आहे असे आहेत इथं. ओके, त्याला काही झालेलं नाहीये. दॅट्स व्हॉट. आय डोंट नो व्हाय इट इज so much slow today. Okay, still not getting open. Okay, we can see here. All these tables are still there. Those we created in the execution sessions over there, but it will never get automatically dropped. But this is a something opposite of that. The temporary table will always get dropped automatically whenever your session ends. So there are basically two types of temporary table. One is a local temporary table, one is a and another is a global temporary table. What is the difference between them? Local temporary table will be created in the session and it will not be accessible in another session. Means whatever session means a connection that I created for writing a query. So if I'm connected to a particular database, so that will be a separate connection. And if I create a temporary table under that connection, it will not be visible for other connections. I will show you practically how it behaves. So this is basic difference between a local temporary table and a global temporary table. Very simple concept, but very important in terms of interview. Okay, we'll go ahead for the example. Okay, but before that, I will give you a few more intro questions on this. What intro question will be there? So intro question on here will be what is a temporary table? Okay, what are the types of temporary table? Difference between a temporary table versus a table variable. Basically, this question can be asked like this. There can be another version of question like this. Difference between temporary table versus global temporary table versus table variable versus CTE. Means all these are different, same kind of objects. You can see conceptually they are same. Like temporary table also used for temporary placeholder of data. Global temporary table again same concept. Table variable also same concept that we use to hold records temporarily throughout your execution for writing your script. And common table expression is also same concept that you hold that particular data storage data for your temporary purpose. So what is the difference between them? I will answer this question at the end of the session, because we are going to focus primarily on temporary table and global temporary table. I will give you some of the insight into the table variable as well as CT, so that you can easily understand the comparison between them. Okay. The next question will be limitation of temporary table in a SQL Server. Obviously, limitation will be like if they are temporary in nature, they get stored in TempDB, and they are volatile in nature. They cannot have some transactions. All the things detailed here. Okay, so if you store huge data in TMDB, okay, again see, like you can have hundreds of database created on the same server. Suppose this is my one server. How many database I can create there? I can create like a number of databases, whatever as per my need. You can see just now I have created these many databases here. One, two, three, four, five. You can see five databases I already created. I can go and I can create 95 again or any number of databases. But still, the TMDB will be only one. Across all over the server, there will be only one TMDB. Means if 1,000 or 1 million users are getting logged in simultaneously on the system and they using their some functionality of your application, and application is internally using the TMDB for creating temporary table, then what can happen there? Your TMDB can be full because again every user database, whenever you're creating a temp table, it is going to be created inside the TMDB only. So there can be a chance that your TMDB may be full and your server may be performing, server performance will be hampered there. So that is kind of a issue. So definitely if you are using that temporary table for storing huge data, it should be avoidable. It should be avoided because if you use the TMDB or temp table here, if you use temp table for storing huge data, the TMDB can be full and it will server may go down. Okay, so that can be a server level issue. So you should use it only for some small data, not for huge data. If you want to use it for huge data, you go for some staging table. You can create a permanent table as well and drop it manually if the usage is done. If it gets dropped automatically, it gets dropped automatically if after the session gets closed. Okay, which is in which it's created. All constraints are supported except a foreign key constraint. Okay, this is something exception. Like constraints are like primary key constraint, foreign key constraint, default constraint, unique key constraint. All these are constraints on SQL Server table. So all most of the constraints are supported for temporary table, but only one constraint not supporting is a foreign key constraint. Okay. Apart from that, everything is supported. Index can be created on temp tables. Okay, like a normal table. Limitation of table variable. Again, this is going to be covered. This is not in point of focus, but still this can be an inter question. So table variable again is not part of the transaction. This is a one kind of limitation, but temporary table can be part of transaction. And life cycle of table variable is shortest one, that it will be live only for your execution of batch and not a full complete execution. I will show you what it means in practically, what how it differs from your temporary table. Because when I say life is a throughout the batch execution and life is a throughout the session, it is that means very there is a difference, lot of difference over there. I will show you one by one. We can't add, remove columns or constants from a table variable after declaration of variable. See, once I when I say table variable, that means that cannot be created. It should be declared because when we create any variable, we call it or we use the statement declare variable name. Okay, declare variable name and data type there. So if I want to create some object, I will use a create statement. When I use for variable, I use a declare statement. Means if I use a table variable, then I use mostly declaration. So that's why we cannot alter that table after declaration since it's a variable. But it's different concept. We just focus on currently temporary table and global temporary table. So these two things we are going to focus today. Okay, we'll go ahead for example of first local temporary table. Very easy to understand. You can see I already told you that syntax is exactly same. No much difference over there. So if I create temporary table like this, create table name, column name here ID, data type int. Okay, then another column name varchar 50 age int over here. So I have created a table, temporary table. How you can identify whether it's temporary table or global or permanent table? You can see first character of a name. If it is a hash, then this means the table is going to be your temporary table. I will create this. I connect it to the SQL batch August 2023 database. Even you can see here in yellow ribbon SQL August SQL batch August 2023. Okay, so I will just create and I will show you if it get where it getting created. If I expand this database here, you will never see the table here because there is a no provision of using creating a temporary table inside this permanent tables, because this is a list of permanent tables. But if you want to see this, you can go and under TempDB, you will see that under the temporary tables. Okay. When expand temporary table, you can see employee hash employee table is created here. If I disconnect this session, how can I disconnect? I can see right click disconnection and disconnect. You will see that table automatically vanishes. I will just go and refresh here. You can see table vanished because life is end ended. How why life ended here? Because I already told you that life of a temporary table is limited to particular session in which I created that. I created this particular table here. Session started. You can see connected to particular database. So if I go again here, you can see table is there. If I disconnect, even I can show you refresh also. You can see I refresh 100 times. It is still there. But if I disconnect the session, table will be gone. You can see table gone. Okay. That's how it behaves because table are volatile in nature. Any question on this behavior, on this concept? Okay, like any other normal table, I can insert data, update data, select data, everything I can do. Like I can have, I can create here insert data also. First of all, I will connect to the server. I will select particular database. Then I will create the table again. And like any other permanent table, I cannot create a table of same name again and again. If I try to execute the script again, you will see error because that table is already exists there. I cannot create again one more table with same name. Though it is a temporary table or permanent table, same issue or same behavior will be there. Okay, so I created here table in my first step. Second step, I'm going to insert data here. Okay, and third step, I'm going to select data. So my session is still live. Okay, I just connection is still live. I never disconnected now. So once I connect to session and if I'm not disconnecting, then the session throughout the session, this table will be there. So first step, I created table. Then I inserted data, and then I'm just selecting data here. You can see data is selected. Even I can go and update also. I can write update query, update hash employee. Okay, set age equal to 19, where ID equal to 1, something like this we can do. So I can update age of one employee. I can see if I select one more time, you will see update recorded updated. So like normal table, I can do insert, update, delete everything on temporary table as well. Even I can add one more column here, salary like this. I can use not null and all constant also. Even I can use the default constant with value 5000. And you will see data is populated there with new column. So this is a completely similar behavior of temporary table as like similar to permanent table. Only thing is that is a life cycle. Life is limited to current session. Once the session disconnected, table will be gone. Table will be vanished. And one more thing I wanted to show you that this script or this table, this is a live there. Even you can see here, table is there in TempDB. It is a temporary table, temporary database, and you can see the table is there, and I can select data from here. But if I try to connect this same table from another connection, another session, it is not possible. You can see I open new connection here, new session open, and if I try to execute the same query, it will say invalid object employee because this local temporary table has a scope limited to current session only. That is not exposed to different sessions, unlike global temporary table. So we are going to study now global temporary table. It's a very similar concept. Okay. Syntax is same. Only difference is here double hash sign. Double hash means global temporary table. What is the difference between them then? The table will be accessible to another session, nothing else. This is again also volatile, similar to local temperature table. So once a session disconnected, then both local temperature table as well as global temperature table gets vanished. So there is a similarity between them. But one more difference is the data will be accessible or table will be accessible across the sessions. I will show you. You can see I inserted data in global temperature table. I select data. I try to select this one more time. Okay, I copy this. Okay, session. I can copy paste this session, this query in another session here, and you will see data is accessible. Though this is a temperate table, but still it's global. Since it's global in nature, that the temperate table that created in another session is accessible to all other session as well. You can see it's accessible. Even I can create new session here, and if I copy paste this query, I execute, and you can see data is still fetching there. Means the global temperate table is accessible across the all sessions for the particular lifespan. If I disconnect the parent session in which it's created, then it's gone for all other sessions also. Okay. Even I can drop it. Like I manually also I can drop there. How can I drop this? You can use drop session, drop table, table name. I can use this like this also. I can drop it manually. No harm. This also can be dropped manually. Okay. This can be dropped like this as well. But if even if you don't drop it, you can see if I drop both of them, if I refresh here, you will see nothing happen. Okay, nothing will be displayed here. But if I create this global temperature table, that will be again displayed here in temperature table section and under the same DB database. You can see this is a double hash temperature imply global temperature table. Okay, if I my session is disconnected, then it will be automatically vanished. I will show you. This is valid here. Even this is a valid here. And if my session disconnected, I will just right click connection disconnect session. You will see this table is not accessible here as well as here because my parent session is disconnected and table is vanished. Table is automatically dropped from database. Any question on this? This is very important. Okay. So most of the concept related to temporal table and global temporal table are done. So we will move on with the table variable. Okay. So table variable is nothing but a variable of type table. Most of time we create variable of type integer, variable of type varchar, variable of type date time, but we can create variable of type table also because table is also kind of a data type. We already studied this yesterday that we can declare a variable of type table and there where we can create a there can be multiple columns and rows also possible. Okay. So life of a table variable is also limited to batch execution. It's a very different concept than a temporary table. How that I will show you. What is the meaning of batch execution? What is the meaning of a connection, a session wise life cycle? When I say temporary table, I told you life of a temporary table will be throughout the session. Okay, life of the temporary table valid for throughout the session, but life of table variable is valid for batch execution. I will show you what is the meaning of that. We can add or we can't add or remove columns or constant anything. We cannot alter a table basically after declaration of the table variable. Syntax will be like this: declare at the rate. You can see this sign is a denotation for variable name. Okay, any variable when I declare in SQL Server, I start with at that sign because this is a simple part of a logic or part of your syntax. Okay, any temporary table if I create, I start with a hash sign. If any variable I'm declaring, it start with the at that sign. So syntax will be declare variable name type table and then inside a round bracket you have to declare here multiple columns. Column name, data type, column name, data type. And I will give you one example. You can say declare at the TBL employee table, first column here, ID, integer, primary key. Okay. Then name, varchar, like this. Then salary, int. Okay. Default 500,000, like this. So I can declare the, I will connect session again. So I declare this double variable. Then I will try to insert and data here. Then we can go for a select star from table name. Okay. Okay. So I just created declare session it again. If I declare this one more time, what will happen? I already declared this session. If I declare this one more time with the same name, it is not giving me error. But if I do the same thing over here for creating a temporary table, it will allow me once. But if I next time if I run the same script, create table name, it will not allow me to create again one more table with same name. If I modify name, then it can allow. But you can see if I do not change name, if I try to create one more table with same name, it will give me error. But this is not case with this table variable. Why? Because life vanishes. Okay, its life is limited to particular batch execution only. Means when I started execution of the script, table got created and automatically got destroyed after my execution of query completes. Okay, means every time it creates a new variable once I start execution of script. Means if I create this declare variable in one go execution and then try to insert data in another go, another execution, it is not possible here because that table get dropped automatically from my batch execution. So what I have to do then, I have only one choice that all operations related to the table variable I have to execute in one execution, one single execution. That called as a batch execution. You can see now it's possible. You can see I'm declaring variable, declaring table, then inserting data and selecting data from that. Okay, all operations I am executing in one single execution batch. That's a possible to execute. So that is something a limitation of a table variable, that the life of table variable is limited to particular batch execution, not for the session. Table variable, temporary table is different from that table variable. Once we create that, life will be exist there. Life is valid for a whole the session till the time session gets closed. But table variable is not like that. Okay. Again, like your temporary table variable can also have like primary key, default constraint, anything we can constraint also work. I can declare any number of columns here. And one more similarity over there will be whenever I declaring a variable or I create a temporary table, both of them, both time it gets created inside a temp.db only. Okay. That is something a interviewer will ask you the question that where when I declare table variable, where it gets created, it will again be created inside the temporary temp.db database. Any question till this point? One more limitation is I cannot, once I declare the variable of type table with certain number of columns, I cannot add column, I cannot drop column, or even I cannot any change constant. I cannot add new constant, or I cannot add any remove any constant, or I cannot change any data type of any column. Like for a permanent or temporary table. For temporary table, we can definitely do. I already told you, I already demonstrated you that how I can drop or add a new column inside a temporary table. You can see. Okay, here I altered the table and added a new column as salary. I already told you this. This is demonstrated, but this is not possible for table view. I will show you how it happens. If I try to alter table and add, suppose this table I try to alter this and add column, suppose, okay, date of birth with date type. Is this possible? No. Why? Because this is not a table actually. This is a variable of type table. And we have once, though you know that we have not created this table, we have declared this table. So alter treatment is valid only for objects those are created, not for declared. This is variable. That's why we declare this variable. So alter treatment is not valid for that. Even I can show you by example. You can see alter is not possible because this is a not table, this is a variable of type table. So whatever you want to do, you have to create in a one go. We have to declare the variable, table variable, and the schema or structure, everything you have to declare in a same go only, same execution. You cannot create it afterward. Okay. So alter statement is not valid for a table variable. It will give error. It will give error as a alter statement not valid for table variables. Any question?
जर ऍड करायचं असेल तर कॉलम मग कसं करायचं सर?
नाही करू शकत नाही, तुम्हाला ते नवीनच टेबल बनवावं लागेल त्यानंतर. हा टेबल तसा व्हॉलेटाईल असतो ना. सपोज तुम्ही आता हे बनवला की तुम्ही बनवू शकता. मला नवीन टेबल बनवायचं, मी आणखी टेबल बनवा, त्यामध्ये आणखी वेगळं टाकू शकता कॉलम पाहिजे ते. सपोज हा कॉलम डेट ऑफ बर्थ तुम्हाला कॉलम पाहिजे, तुम्ही काय करू शकता, मग तुम्ही आणखी एक टेबल बनवा, त्याला तुम्ही टेबल 1 नाव द्या वाटलं काहीतरी, खाली लिहू शकता तुम्ही डेट ऑफ बर्थ असं. पण ह्या एक्झिस्टिंग जर तुम्ही डिक्लेअर केला टेबल, त्याला अल्टर काय करू शकत नाही, त्यामध्ये काही कॉलम ऍड करू शकत नाही, कॉलम रिमूव्ह करू शकत नाही, बिकॉज इट्स अ व्हेरिएबल ऑफ टाइप टेबल. Okay. Even and one more thing, if you want to declare the same name variable here again, it is not possible. If I try to declare the variable of same name, this is not possible. You can see it will give error that because same name variable already declared. Okay. But we can declare this once, and if we do go for this one, it will not give error because these are the two different executions. But if I try to execute this one single go, it will give error because name of variable is same exactly. Okay. Any questions on this? I hope you
प्रायमरी की
understood. प्रायमरी
प्रायमरी
करू
की
शकता, प्रायमरी करू शकता की काही issue नाही. If you want to test this primary key, you can test it over here. I will try to execute one more time. The key is here same 123 123, and you will see it will give error because I declare the ID as a primary key, so it should not insert duplication over here. You will see it is giving error because what happened? Okay, okay. If I try to insert duplicate value 123 here in ID column, which is a primary key, you can see this will give you primary key violation. Any question on this? कन्सेप्ट खूप इम्पॉर्टंट आहे, कन्फ्युजन तुम्ही होऊ शकतं, पण तुम्हाला इंटरव्ह्यूवर डेफिनेटली विचारणार की व्हॉट इज द डिफरन्स बिटवीन टेम्पर टेबल अँड टेबल व्हेरिएबल किंवा टेम्पर टेबल अँड ग्लोबल टेम्पर टेबल. So I will definitely give you answer of this already ready-made. You can just write it down. Okay, I will write it over here. What is the difference between a temper table and table variable? So these are the points are for the temper table. Okay, these are the point for temper table, and right side point are the given for table variable. Okay. Any question?
प्रायमरी की म्हणजे प्रायमरी
Primary key
की
म्हणजे काय? Primary key is something that अवॉइड डुप्लिकेशन. सपोज तुम्हाला एक एम्प्लॉय टेबल बनवायचं, त्यामध्ये एखादा कॉलम युनिक बनवायचा आहे, जसं की तुमचा आयडी. तर एम्प्लॉय आयडी जर डुप्लिकेट झाला काय होईल? सेम आयडी नंबर दोघांना मिळाला, त्याचा उपयोग आहे ना. सपोज तुम्हाला तर युनिक पाहिजे त्यामध्ये, तर त्याला आपण प्रायमरी की बनवा, जेणेकरून त्यामध्ये युनिक नवीन ते पण नवीन व्हॅल्यू येतील. तुम्ही एका एम्प्लॉय मध्ये गेला कंपनीमध्ये, तुम्हाला आयडी मध्ये वेगळा मिळतो ना प्रत्येकाला. आयडी नंबर कधी सेम सेम असतो का दोन एम्प्लॉयचा? नसतो कधीच, बरोबर. पॅन नंबर कधी सेम असतो का आपल्या सगळ्यांचा? नसतो. त्याला वेगळा पॅन नंबर मिळतो. आधार कार्ड नंबर तुम्हाला कधी वेगळा सिम मिळाला का कुणाला? मिळत नाही कधीच, कारण का तो प्रायमरी की आहे. So primary key is basically a value of column that is used to uniquely identify each record at a time. Means if I try to query something like this, select star from other details where other number is equal to this. तर आउटपुट किती यायला पाहिजे? एकच आउटपुट यायला पाहिजे एका नंबरसाठी. आयदर काहीच जर चुकीचा नंबर असेल तर काहीच नाही यायला पाहिजे. तर नंबर बरोबर असेल तर एकच आउटपुट यायला पाहिजे. समजतंय? दोन वेगळ्या नावांना जर एकच आधार नंबर मिळाला तर काय होऊ शकतं? प्रॉब्लेम येऊ शकतो, बरोबर ना, आपल्या सगळ्या गव्हर्नमेंट रेकॉर्डमध्ये. तो सेम कन्सेप्ट आहे. शेवटी आणि या प्रायमरी कीचा आता विचार करू नका, कारण कन्सेंटचा साठी आपल्याकडे वेगळा चॅप्टर आहे, त्यामध्ये सगळ्या कन्सेंट साठी करणार आहे आपण इन डिटेलमध्ये. व्हॉट इज अ प्रायमरी की, व्हॉट इज अ युनिक की, व्हॉट इज अ डिफॉल्ट कन्स्टेंट, व्हॉट इज अ नॉट नल कन्स्टेंट, फॉरेन की काय आहे, सगळ्या गोष्टी करणार आहे आपण एकदम डिटेलमध्ये. जो वेगळा नवीन चॅप्टर आहे त्यासाठी. फॉर नाव जस्ट ट्राय टू अंडरस्टँड व्हॉट इज अ टेम्परेचर टेबल, व्हॉट इज अ ग्लोबल टेम्परेचर टेबल, व्हॉट इज अ टेबल व्हेरिएबल. Again, there is another concept over here as a CT. I also show you in short. Again, there is a separate chapter we can have for CT, but I'll show you what is CT. Okay, full form is a common table expression. Okay, what is syntax of this? I will show you syntax also. Okay, syntax start with semicolon. हा खूप डिफरंट ऑब्जेक्ट आहे. जसं स्टार्ट सेमिकोलॉन होतो मोस्टली, मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम काय असतं की प्रत्येक सिंटॅक्स जो आहे प्रत्येक सर्वरचा तो एंड होतो सेमिकोलॉन. आणि सेमिकोलॉन हा ऑप्शनल आहे, तुम्ही टाका किंवा न टाका चालतं. इवन इफ यू गिव्ह हिअर सेमिकोलॉन इट वर्क्स, इफ यू डोंट गिव्ह दॅट ऑल्सो वर्क्स. म्हणजे सेमिकोलॉन आपल्यासाठी कंपल्सरी नाही आहे, बट हा मोस्टली कुठं असतो? शेवटी असतो, स्टेटमेंटच्या शेवटी, की समजण्यासाठी की तो स्टेटमेंट संपलायचं म्हणून. हे तर सिटीमध्ये हा स्टार्ट होतो सेमिकोलॉननी, आणि पहिला वर्ड असतो विथ. ओके, सेमिकोलॉन विथ इज अ मॅन्डेटरी. You have to give as it is here. Then you can write any name of city like city 123 something. And as this is a part of syntax. मी जे काही capital लिहितो ते सगळे part of syntax आहेत. Bracket open. You can write any statement here. Select star from column names from table or something. This is your city, and then you can use select star from city name. Okay, I write city name here. City name. Here also select star from city name. Something like this. This is the syntax of a city. I will show you one example. I will show you what are the limitation of city as well. With city employee, okay, select star from employee table, and then what I will do, select star from city employee like this. Okay, you can see city is created here. I will write something, some filter here. Suppose I want to create city only for department 9001. Then you can see to show you output only for city 109001. Okay, but one thing is I cannot create use this city again and again. Even same execution cycle. If I want to use same city one more time in same execution, it's not possible. You can see I'm executing all three statements in one execution. First, I declare city and using city. If I execute this up to this point, it's working fine. If I up to this point, it is working, giving error. Okay, why? Because city cannot be used twice. It can be used only once. Okay, कारण की ह्याचं लाईफ सायकल कमी आहे. ओके, सगळ्यात जास्त लाईफ सायकल कोणाचं आहे मोठं? तर परमनंट टेबलचं. त्यानंतर काय आहे? टेम्पररी टेबल. त्यानंतर काय आहे? छोटं लाईफ सायकल कोणाचं आहे? टेबल व्हेरिएबलचं आहे. आणि त्यानंतर सिटी. सिटीचं का छोटं सायकल म्हणतोय आपण? कारण सिटी बघा दोनदा वापरू शकत नाही आपण, एकदाच वापरू शकतोय. सिटी डिक्लेअर केली, इथं वापरली, लाईफ संपलं तिथं. ओके, त्या खाली परत वापरायचं आलं तुम्ही नाही, तो ऑटोमॅटिक ड्रॉप झाला तिथं. कारण तो जिथं यूज केला सिटी तिथं तो ऑटोमॅटिक ड्रॉप होतो, त्यानंतर तो यूज होत नाही. समजते? So that's the use of city. Even if you want to use it, you have to use immediately after declaration. आता इथं डिक्लेअर केला त्या खाली कुठे यूज केला असं होत नाही, इथंच तुम्हाला करायला पाहिजे. Okay. If I use like this, select one something here, I statement selected like this, and if I try to use it again, it is not possible. There's a don't condition is okay. CTE, I will show you, give you here explanation more. Okay, notes. CTE must be used immediately after declaration. Okay. Second point over here is a CTE can be used only once. Okay, after declaration. Twice and thrice we cannot be used. Okay, so these are the all points for difference between a CTE and temporary table and table variable. CTE can't be modified after declaration. Same, this statement is valid for table variable also. So I will write it down here. Okay, it's not for this one. Okay, I wanted to use it for table variable, so I will write it here. Table variable can't be modified after declaration. Same valid for CTE also. So I hope you understood the concept of CTE, concept of table variable, concept of temporary table. Hopefully you will be able to answer
सर
this question.
सिटीला
बोला
सिटीला तिथं सेमीकोलन कंपल्सरी नाही ना
आहे ना कंपल्सरी आहे की ठीक आहे लिहिलंय तुम्ही कोण लिहिलंय तुम्ही even if you like execute like this also it will execute no issues. You see, okay, this will execute. So semicolon अच्छा compulsory नहीं है, but suppose you write something here, select one as a something वैसा execute के लिए query like this, and immediately you try to declare variable city, and if you do not give there semicolon, it will give error. You can see, okay, incorrect syntax with with. Okay, if I give semicolon here, this will be properly executed. Okay, any question? Any question till this point? सर्वांना समजले concept? What is a permanent table? What is a temporary table? What is a global table table? What is a table variable? What is a CTE? Try to use it in multiple examples. Create your own examples. Let me know if you have any questions, if you get any error. Okay. If you don't have any question, we can stop here. Thank you. Bye bye.